Have you ever thought about whether the people on the other side actually influence what goes on this side? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests who honored because they're not here. My daughter is so powerful that she influenced us from the other side before she was born. Rachel is now 27 years old, or 27 years young, actually, and Rachel has a very high level of determination. When she was 3 years old and we would go into a restaurant to eat, while we're eating dinner, Rachel would go from table to table to table and go over and talk to people. She'd start a conversation. She'd be very nice and pleasant. And people were just astounded, and we tell her she's running for president. When she was 11 years old, she became a Girl Scout. And she got people that didn't make more than $100 a week to buy Girl Scout cookies from her. They didn't have much money, but she got them to spend their hard-earned money on Girl Scout cookies. And she sold more Girl Scout cookies than anybody in her troop of 11 girls. This is examples of Rachel's determination. But the ultimate in Rachel's determination was before she was born. Now, Rachel is adopted, and her birth mother, while she was pregnant, was being supported by yours truly. And yours truly decided it was cheaper to have her come to stay with us than to pay for an apartment in Texas. So she came and lived with us for the last month of her pregnancy. Now, prior to her arrival, Susan says to me, we got to discuss baby names. Now, those of you that know me, anything to do with domestic activities, what's my normal reaction? Just take care of it. Don't bother me. What name do you want? You just tell me what it is. Don't worry about it. So the normal habit is to just, my wife would decide. Somebody else would decide. My parents, my in-laws, anybody. And it's like, you just tell me what you want. But Susan says to me, what are we going to name the baby? And I said, without thinking, her name will be Rachel. My wife looks at me. She says, well, what about Debbie? Or Susan? Or Sarah? Or other biblical names? Susan's not a biblical name, is it? And I'd say, her name would be Rachel. So I became a broken record. And then she says, well, wait a minute, Willard. We don't know whether this is going to be a boy or a girl. What if it's going to be a boy? What are we going to call the baby? And I look at her and I just go, what did I tell my wife? Her name will be Rachel. She goes, this is insane. I said, her name will be Rachel. Now, where did I get this? Somebody was whispering in my ear. Who was doing the whispering? Who was doing the whispering? I ask you, who was doing the whispering?
Rachel.
Rachel. Now, Denise, her birth mother, gets off the plane, and she's sitting around, and she says in a conversation one day, she said, the baby's yours, and naming the baby is up to you. It's your decision. But can I make a suggestion? And we're sitting on the couch, and we go, sure, what's your suggestion? She says, I always like the name
Rachel.
Rachel. And we go, well, we had already talked about it, and Rachel decided that her name was going to be Rachel. So Rachel was born, and guess what we named our daughter?
Rachel.
Rachel. So, all I can tell you is, my daughter tries to run my life now, and she sure ran my life before she was born. So, be careful what you say to people that aren't here, because I say they are here. Madam Toastmaster.